Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have something special to review. Today we have the review of the Gundam Base Limited, the HGUC Torohachi. Now this did kind of release way earlier than I've expected. I was kind of assuming that it will be coming out maybe in the next 1 or 2 months later. But once again, it released yesterday in Korea. I'm pretty sure it released a bit earlier in Japan. But either way, I knew this was going to be one of those topic, kits. And I also wanted one, but I didn't want to be stuck in line or miss my chance on getting this. So I woke up way early, arrived at the mall where there's the specific Gundam base I wanted to go to, 2 hours before opening time. So I was actually stuck in line. Despite that, there were people earlier than me, but luckily I was within the first 20 people, so it was a guarantee that I was able to get one. Alright, so for those who don't know where this unit was from, as you can see from the box, it's from the Unicorn Gundam series. It's actually that small worker unit that Banaji was using on. So yeah, and it was really unexpected and interesting to see Bandai to actually make these type of units as well. So, but once again, they definitely knew that this is not exactly meant for everyone, or they knew this was going to be meant for people with specific tastes. So, which is why I think they released it as a Gundam Base Limited, because I would assume that the Gundam Base Limited would be even a smaller batch than Premium Bandai, or the other way around. But either way. But I also kind of see why they didn't mass produce this. Mass producing this might have been, a little bit tricky. But anyway, so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see a small mech suit or a mech unit, but that's not really meant for combat. So any non-combatant unit is always interesting to see and how they turned out. Alright, so we just saw the box, so as usual we'll still go with our typical procedure on checking the components or any leftover parts and yada yada. So first of all, what you get, of course, after you finish fully building the kit, is what you see is what you get right here. So we get the unit itself. This thing does not have any handheld equipment as well, but we do get, number one, a sticker sheet. And as you can see, I didn't use most of it. I tried to use a Gundam marker as much as possible, but you can see I did use number 2, and I will explain why I think number 2 will be kind of necessary to use. Now, number 1, I didn't use the sticker, and I did not color at all, because once again, this yellow sticker is supposed to go on this yellow handle looking area. So this part here, it's supposed to wrap around, and once again, it's yellow. First I was thinking of maybe should I use a metallic gold color, but once again, there's the same yellow color everywhere, and having gold there might have kind of make it a little bit too flashy, which is why I didn't do that. The rest I will explain later. And then for leftover parts, so not exactly a leftover, but we do have an action-based connector, although I really wish they would have just had not this, but the other way around, where where the unit has the hole, and then we can just connect the previous action base, like the Tamash Nation's action base there. But oh well. But once again, they did add this. The reason why I personally don't like this is because I barely have any action bases that can take these, and I'm not the biggest fan of the old 1 to 100 scale action bases as well. And then, now this is actually interesting. So they actually do give you leftover parts, and even in the manual, they give you 2 of these, and the manual says to use them as freely as you want. So like, alright, so leftover joints, so double ball jointed tips. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So I'm pretty sure everybody is wondering what's the scale on this, and I cannot give you the answer because I did not calculate it yet. But as you can see on the box does not mention anything regarding scale. So let me get the box out there. There is no number regarding scale. There's no 1 to 144, or 1 to 64, or 1 to 73, or whatever. There is no scale. So yeah, so sorry about that. So even if someone asks me, if you comment what's the scale on this, there is no way I can actually give you the exact, I cannot give you the answer for that. So anybody else will have to calculate for some reason. So yeah. Alright, so size wise, here is a typical HG kit. Here's one of the more Gundam Origins gun cannon that recently released. So you can see height wise, yeah, it's not as tall as a typical HG kit. So obviously it's going to be much more shorter than a master grade kit, a typical master grade kit here. So yeah, roughly if we take out this part, it's about roughly half about an HG kit, or slightly taller than that. So yeah, But once again, this also proves that this is not in scale, because once again, imagine the cockpit size here, and then here is the cockpit of this guy. The chair is much bigger, so these things are not in the same scale. If they were to be in the same scale, let's say this were to become 1:144, it would be much smaller. So my guess is that I think it might be the same size as the small mech unit that comes with the HGUC Gym Sniper 2. I forgot what it's called, but that's just my guess. Or it could be even smaller than that, because I mean, that had some bulk in it and had armor. This one barely has any of that. Alright, anyway, let's see what we got from this. So, regarding stickers, there were 4 red stickers there. So those are supposed to be these head searchlight things here on the top. So I decided to use a red Gundam marker, because apparently my metallic red Gundam marker exploded last time, and I forgot to buy a replacement. So yeah, but I did use a regular red, and it turned out okay. It doesn't have the best shine, but it gets the job done. And then there were 2 metallic silver stickers that I didn't use, and these were for here. I just want to actually use the chrome silver Gundam metallic marker, and it turned out okay. So it turned out okay. And then the sticker I actually used, and here's the part that I didn't use, and the one I actually used is, I have to open this section here, is the side mirrors here. So I'm not sure if the camera can get that there. Come on, camera, focus. Okay, you know what? Actually, let me just take this part out. So you can take this part out, and these are actually supposed to be like, in terms of cars, these are like side mirrors so that you can see from the back. Now the reason why I say it's going to be necessary to apply this, unless you have the right tools, is that, so if you peel off this sticker, it's going to be a yellow surface, but also if you take this part off, you can see there's a hole there, so there's going to be this gray part sticking out there. So it's not actually popping out, it's actually on the same level here, but you can see I kind of pushed it in and you can see it's starting to pop out. So do be careful about that part. But yeah, if you don't cover this, then that means you're going to see not only a yellow surface, you're going to also see a gray peg there. So if you have any like equipment, like maybe a primer or some sort of putty, you put that there, and then you flatten it out and then color. Maybe that's what you gotta do. But yeah, but once again, I do find it really interesting to see that this thing actually has these side mirrors, which is really cool, so that it can see from the behind, and which also might mean that this thing does not have any cameras, so back head cameras, like unlike a mobile suit. So yeah, so and once again, you can open this section and reveals in a pretty well detailed seat. Like you got the small monitors, you got the small handles there, and although the handles seem a little bit too small, but either way, yeah, they got all the small necessary details here, so well done. Alright, so we've seen that for now, but let's talk about articulation here. So obviously, I'm not sure if we should call this the head or just the cockpit, but once again, there's no movement here, there's no top body rotation or ab crunch there, so there's none of that. But we do have the arm articulation, so let's look at the arms here first. So the arms, you can see they are connected to ball joints, but here is the shoulder joint kind of gimmick here. This thing, I wouldn't say it's actually a shoulder joint gimmick, but you have this function where you can slide up frontwards like that, which gives even more range for the arms as well. So that's pretty cool. So you can go from there to there, and then being on a ball joint, going 360 is possible. And then we have this joint here, so you can see if this is when it's all the way pushed in, and you do have a little bit of extension gimmick here like that. So that's pretty cool. And then these wires are one of those bendy wires as well, so they do give you a small length, and you have to cut it in half for each arm as well. Let me just push that back in. And the shoulders do go about outwards 90 degrees as well. And then bend wise, you do get a decent bend, although mostly 90 degrees as well. Now you can go side to side on the arm here like that, but once again, because of the wire, you're going to have some limitations. Unless if you take it out, then going 360 would be possible. And once again, the claws actually function as well, so no need to worry. Although the insides are kind of empty, so I know some people don't like these, so if you have like any stuff to fill it in, you might need to do that. And yeah, this is as far the bottom one goes outwards. The top, not so much. And according to the box, yeah, these parts here, you can see these small nubs here on the inside, or these gravings. Those are, I'm assuming those are like sensors, so those are also have to be colored in green. So if you're going for color accuracy, then that's what you gotta do. But yeah, it's really fun to see, so you can go from here to there like that. So that's pretty well done, and kind of an unexpected articulation there. Alright, and now before we go to the legs, let's look at the back here. We have this gigantic, huge backpack canister, which I'm assuming that carries either fuel or oxygen, one of those things as well. There's nothing, no movement there, so there's nothing to do on the back here. And once again, you can actually open this section up and reveal it here. And I did pretty much explain all the necessary stuff here. So, alright, and you can close it out. Now, it doesn't really give anything, some sort of a locking mechanism or satisfying click noise. You just kind of know. I mean, there is a slight, tab there that kind of like holds it in place. But yeah, although I do wish there was a more, satisfying click. But that's just me. All right. So now let's look at the legs here, or kind of. I'm not sure if legs is the exact term, but. Alright, so you can see once again the main connection is a ball joint, but the ball joint is not on the crotch area, it's actually on the leg servo units as well. So you do have a little bit of side to side movement going like that, because the joint is supposed to move a little bit up and down like that, but there's no way you can go 90 degrees. Now going forward 90 degrees almost is possible, and then backwards not so much because of the backpack or backpack canister. And then there's no articulation here, but one thing interesting is that these skid plates or ski things, once again, they actually do have a little bit of a pivot joint here on the inside, so which is kind of interesting. So you don't always need to be locked in place like this. You can kind of spread out the legs a little bit and then reposition these plates here, and you're good to go. All right, and that is pretty much it for the articulation here. So once again, well, if you're like used to building HG kits, you buy this. You should be finishing it within like within an hour, unless if you're going for a straight build. If you're coloring it, detailing it, and doing all sorts of stuff, then obviously it's going to take much more longer time. Now regarding the cockpit here, now because I do not know the scale, and either way, even if I don't know the scale, even if I did, I do not know what size of a figure would fit here. Now I don't think there's anything from Bandai that would fit here. My guess is either from like Diaclone figures maybe might fit, but once again, I don't really collect small figurines, so those are like my least interest as well. So I do not have any examples to put in here. But once again, if you have the right size, there is definitely space that you can put in the figure in there. Although leg space might be slightly limited, but still, if you have the right size, it might actually fit. And that is pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the Gundam Base Limited HGUC, the Torohachi. So one thing, I think the name is like a combination between these two lists and then the number in Japanese, because I believe Hachi is like an 8 in Japanese, but either way, yeah. So once again, I actually had fun building this. The price, not the best price, but at the same time being a limited item, I would gladly pay in. I did get 20% discount on because I am a member of the Gundam Base Limited, the Gundam Base website or membership program. So I did get a discount. And once again, there is a limit for per member to get these, so there is a purchase limit. So I'm not sure if I go there tomorrow or next day, and even if there is one, they might not sell it to me because on their account I already bought one. So, and they're doing this to prevent any scalpers from buying multiple and abusing the market. So I'm not sure if I can help you guys out, but maybe later, or I can ask them. I can check later if I can get more, but once again, it's going to be one per session. So yeah. And so there were some people asking me about the Gundam Base, not the Gundam Base, the Gundam Expo Korea Limited Gunpla. Once again, that's the same situation. There's no guarantee I can even get one, but even if I can get one, I can only get one. And I have a few friends outside of the country asking for that. So even if I get one, I have to choose whether to review it or give it to my friend. So I cannot guarantee any reviews for that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching the review. This was the review of the Gundam Base Limited HGUC Torohachi. If you guys get any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.